stars, I'm in sync with the earth. 10 toes deep.
It's Sweetie C, your Sweetie C with lots of love. What's up? How you doing today? I hope everyone is having a blessed day. I'd like to welcome everyone to this new segment of Yo, what's up? How you doing? So on today's segment, y'all, first of all, on today's segment, we will be discussing insecurities brought on insecurities women may have brought on by men. Is it the man's fault, or should the woman be accountable for themselves being insecure? But before we get into that, Crystal, this is the subject that Crystal wanted to discuss. So she's going to come online and she's going to provide us why did she come up with this topic? What made her come up with this topic? So everybody welcome Crystal Thornton.
All right. Can y'all see me? Hey, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing today? I'm excited about this topic. So I can get a little backstory of how I came up with it.
Yes.
All right. So a couple of weeks ago, I can thank my little cousin. I'm not going to say his name, but his name for this is going to be little cousin. So I was happened to be going through my phone and just to find a number, and I happened to come across this number, and I click on it. I'm like, oh, okay, who's that? I'm like, oh, okay, this is my cousin. So I just sent him a text to say, hey, is this still my little cousin? So I had forgot I sent it. So later on that day, I received a phone call, and his aunt name pops up on my phone. So I'm like, okay, so I guess his phone must be under his aunt's. So I answer it, and I get this, who is this? I'm like, excuse me, who am I speaking with? And so she said, this is my little cousin. So I said, no, this is not. And so she goes to say, well, he says he don't know you, so who is this? So I hang up the phone. And so I call my aunt, which is his mom. And so I'm like, hey, does little cousin have a little girlfriend? And she says, yeah, he's been having one. I said, well, he might need to go find another one because she's going through, I guess, this text messages, calling people, talking about who is this. And so that had brought back, that happened to me actually when I was in college. It happened twice where a guy came up to me. I was happened to be working overnight at Walmart. I was in summer school. And so I'm minding my business. This guy come up to me in his barber jacket. And he starts talking, asking my number. I give it to him. I don't see no ring or anything like that. So I'm like, okay. So he calls me or whatnot. We talk. And he's supposed to, he claims he's going to come over. But he does at the time. He says he wants to come over. He's supposed to come over like 5 during business hours. He wants to come over. He called like, well, I didn't get to make it. Can I come now? And it's like 10, 11 o'clock. I'm like, oh, no, sir. This isn't the 7-Eleven. You know, if you don't come, you coming during business hours. I'm glad that I stuck to that and that I had that type of persona about myself. Like, no, you can't come at this time. And no, we're not finna come another time. That happened a couple of times. Next thing I know, I get a call and it has to be his girlfriend. I did not know that he had a girlfriend. So she calls me and she says, yeah, you've been talking to my man. I'm like, oh, I didn't know he was talking to somebody. She's like, yeah, I'm not mad at you. I just wanted you to know. And he's been talking to other girls. I'm like, okay, well, you definitely don't have to worry about me talking to him anymore.
So wait, are these all different situations? Or?
Yes, I'm talking about now what happened to me back in college, which brought about a reminder of what happened with my little cousin and his girlfriend.
Okay, let's go ahead and add Demaye to the stream. What's up?
How you doing? I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Let's see if I can get
I want
him to hear the story too, so that there we go. Yes, I would like Demaye to hear a story too, so that he'll know what's going on.
Gotcha.
Okay, so did you hear her first story as to why she brought up this topic in regards to
The Insecurities of Men.
Insecurities of a Woman by
brought on by
men.
men.
Hold on, the insecurity that the woman have that's brought on by men.
Yes.
I just heard the part about guy approached you, you gave him his number, talking about coming over.
Yeah.
Somebody he texted about late like 10 o'clock. He was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that."
Right.
That's pretty much what I heard.
All right. Well, that's pretty much
That's the
the
story.
gist of it. And then one more story happened.
Well, tell them the first story. What brought on this conversation? What brought on?
What brought on was
the
my little
topic?
cousin. I had texted him to see, hey, is this still my little cousin? I'm not gonna say his name, so it's just gonna be my little cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get a phone call from this girl talking about who is this? Like, no hello, no nothing, just straight up, who is this? And I'm like, excuse me, who am I speaking with? And he said, this is my little cousin. And clearly I know the voice of my cousin. Unless he don't went through a sex change, and I highly know that. I'm like, nah, this is not who that is. And so she's like, well, he said he don't know who you are, so who is this? So I just hang up on her. And I end up calling his mom to see, like, does he have a girlfriend? And so
you're saying that the way that she answered the phone is the reason why you felt that she was insecure?
No, the fact that she calling me, that means she going through his messages, calling me to see who is this. And so I'm like, okay, I guess my cousin must have did something to make her feel that way. He must have been out here cheating or talking to other females. I don't know.
Have you ever had a woman go through your phone?
Fortunately, yeah, it happened to me. Last year, I was dating this girl from the Caribbean, and I guess based on whatever experience she had with her ex-husband, like way back, she was in her late 20s to early 30s. A lot of I guess dishonesty was pretty much going on in regards to him stepping out, and he actually had another kid, or she didn't have a kid with him, but he had a kid outside of marriage with this one girl, so it was a whole bunch of mess. So I don't think she fully got over that or fully accepted all the situations. So when we started dating, like, those kind of insecurities pretty much came out. It was a situation where, like, this girl that I know from a long time, we just cool, she had hit me up just out of the blue, say, hey, I'm checking on you, make sure you're good. So I'm like, yeah, everything is all right, blase. And me and her was pretty much kind of going back and forth a little bit. And because she saw, like, the text and all that, she was like, hey, why is this person text you? I'm like, I just know her. She's cool. I know her for a year. You know what I'm saying? She was checking up, blase. And it would be times where at nighttime, my phone would pretty much ring at, like, the message be going off at like 12 o'clock. I can't stop people from texting me. So, I'm just like, I can just deny the text, or not answer the phone call. So I guess she started having that kind of, what's that I'm looking for? I cannot think of that word. PTSD. There we go. That PTSD in regards to her past. So I'm like, okay, like, listen, like, at the end of the day, I'm a whole new experience. I understand what you went through with this dude. It's unfortunate as it is, but to kind of suppress and deflect that onto our relationship is pretty much toxic, within a sense, and that's gonna cause a lot of rift between us. At the end of the day, like, I have to trust you as much as you got to trust me, because if not, it's not gonna work.
Right.
So you didn't bring on any of those insecurities. You didn't feel like you did anything for her to feel like honestly, she could go through your phone?
Honestly, no, because not really. No, I didn't do anything. Because for me, like, I'm not the type to do stuff like that, because it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like, why step out on somebody you trying to build with? It doesn't make any sense. So for me, I would definitely say 100%, like, I did nothing. You know what I'm saying? Situation happened. I said, hey, I had a girl that called me that I missed with, like, way back, like, a couple years ago, called me out of the blue. I'm like, what the hell? And she's like, oh, hey, what's up? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm with my girl, man. What's going on? She's like, oh, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So I would make stuff known. So I made those kind of calls, cease and desist at the moment. But within herself, she, like, that memory of her past just kept coming back. And she trying to pretty much, compare the two situations. And she started going through my phone. And then it was a situation where it happened. And yeah.
I just want to backtrack real quick because you said where you can't stop nobody from texting your phone. That's true, but you can have boundaries and tell people not to text you after a certain time.
I mean, that's true. Yeah, but it's still, I mean, they can text you. You know, all I can do is like, hey, you know, if that if that part of the communication is not understood or respected, then I could pretty much move to like, you know, blocking the number. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much stuff like that. But I did take my steps in regards to doing that. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that her feeling that way doesn't come across. You know, but in the same sense, you know, she found out what the code was to my phone, went in there, saw this and this, which it was nothing, and that's pretty much what it was.
But my thing is, if you weren't putting a restriction on your calls prior to getting a relationship, it's like, why should I have to um now that I'm in a relationship, now I need to switch it up. I think there should be like a dating time probably before getting into that relationship. You think insecurities are hidden?
Uh, yes, I would say in a sense they are, to the fact that they're not really true dealt with. Because the fact of the matter is, nobody wants to be seen naked. You know, they don't want to be seen. Okay, well, this is what I'm dealing with. Because then it exposes, you know, not say who they really are, but things that they're struggling with that could cause probably a rift in a relationship. So that part comes with communication. So I'm saying like if things are communicated on a certain level, then someone can understand. Okay, well, this is somebody's trigger. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I need to move in this type of way, and I think that's where the whole communication is cut off because we don't really truly understand how to actually communicate stuff like that. So yes, it's hidden, and the bad part about it is speaking on a woman or a guy, like we have to pretty much, you know, kind of take the shitty end of the stick for that, pretty much.
So what about do you as a man do you feel insecure at sometimes about a woman that you're dating?
Uh Not really. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I'm not really. I apologize. I'm not really big on a lot of things. I'm a very simplistic person. So anything superficial or financial or you know what I'm saying in regards to like another guy, like that stuff doesn't phase me, you know. Either something I understand like and everybody's cut from a different cloth. You're gonna always see a woman that's beautiful than the girl you're with physically. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Same thing for a guy too. Case in point, it was back in way before COVID hit, 2019. This one dude I know, dope dude, he was like, I don't see how people stay in relationships out here. Like it's so many people out here, and I'm saying it's so easy. I'm like, that's the problem right there. And I'm saying like it is because you're gonna see somebody more attractive, but you know, what's your mindset of actually, you know, being with the person that you're with? You know what I'm saying?
Insecurities come from a lot of places. So, Crystal, as
Hmm.
far as what your story goes, um, your cousin didn't tell her who you were. Do you think he should have told her who you were?
Yeah, but if he didn't, cause like I didn't have his number saved in my phone, so his number probably isn't. He probably has a new phone, but I feel like he should have been the one to call because you never know who it could be. Like I'm a family member. It could be any family member,
Hmm.
and so for you to just what I'm saying, get the phone and just call somebody, don't even say hello, introduce yourself or anything like that. So it's like that makes me think that all right, he must have done something to make her do that. You know, like he done I don't know talk to some girls or I don't know, cause men do all kind of crazy stuff. Cause like I had one more story when I was in college. This guy out the blue, we was in ROTC together. He called me at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was asleep, and I was like, "What the world?" So I answer. You know, it's I'm like, "Hello," and he's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey," and then he started talking like, "Call me back at a better time," because this is out the blue. We don't talk or nothing like that. And so I get a call, all right, later on in the day, and it's his. I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. So again, and she's like, "Why is my man calling you at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning?" And I'm like, "I want to know the same thing. Like, you need to be, what I'm saying, asking him." So clearly, men is out here doing things to make these women feel secure. But I feel like the for the woman, they need to check their man first, though. But at the same time, I get it. Like these men is out here getting these insecurities, and so I'm like, And so it's just kind of brought up back what happened. Because even in my last job, we was literally talking about work, me and this male coworker of mine, and I get a call saying, "What is you and my husband?" So I'm like, if you read the messages, you will literally see we talking about work. There's no
Damn.
hidden messages or anything. And so when I got to actually seen him when I went to work one day, I was like, this lady calling me actually, he's like, yeah, that's my wife. And so I asked him, I said, well, what are you doing to make her feel so insecure to where she needs to hit me up? To be like, why am I talking to you when clearly we talking about work? Like, there's no hidden agenda, there's no hidden messages, there's no none of that. And so it's like, well, what it's like these men out here doing something, just making these women feel so insecure to where they need to hit up the lady. And it's like, we in the 26th century. We not this Betty White. I think that's who sings that song. Something about, hey Shirley, yeah, you know that man you talk, you know that's my man, right? Like, no, women, we needs to do better. We need to first off let these men go. If they making you have to do all of that, they need to be thrown to the trash because that's too much stress. We need peace in our life.
But this one I'm gonna say though. I mean, I agree with you on that level, but on some level, I do believe women need to take the accountability for enabling that situation, because the thing is, and okay, so for your cousin, right? I mean, I'm sure he has your number saved in your phone as whatever your name is, and the fact that she feels a need to go through his phone, yes, he might be doing something, but at the same time, she might also have went into that relationship from another relationship and brought that over into there. So it doesn't necessarily mean that he did something. It just could the fact that um, so something small could have happened, and it just triggered from where she dealt with in the past with somebody else, and now she's with him, and then she went through, his phone, like, okay, what? I'm trying to be safe to me. I'm trying to save face because I'm not trying to go through what I went through the last time. So it's like, all right, what? Who is he calling? Who's this girl? Like, hey, I'm saying? Like, so that could also be one of the things. I really feel like women should cut the cord right then and there when stuff that happens instead of enabling it and kind of let it go on, because that causes, to transfer over and cause a pretty much problem. So on a flip side, yes, men should definitely do better. And on the other side, I think women need to definitely take that full accountability.
I agree with you. I feel like both should, it's not always the man's fault. And then also too, some people like that. Like some men like that type of woman to be all, who is this? Who, they like that.
That's that toxic relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they like that.
See, I feel like people need to heal. I feel like, especially within the Black community, we need to heal. And then that's the thing about, if you haven't really fully got over that last relationship, you don't need to jump into another relationship until you have fully healed yourself. Because if you broken, they broken, everybody broken, that's not good.
Or feel like, if you're not ready, you're missing out on opportunity. Some people feel like they need to rush into that situation, that relationship in order to
Well, people need to rush into a
keep that
relationship with
man.
themselves first,
yeah, I agree.
especially women, because these men trash.
Yes.
Not all,
Not
but
all.
Yeah, I appreciate
majority.
it. Not all, yeah.
I mean, men
Yeah,
can
all
say that
that.
about women too. So
And they do.
yeah.
So
So
But so how do you fully heal though? That's my thing, because I hear that a lot. I'm saying, like, you have to heal. And my pretty much definition is like, well, is that I think you have to see the situation for what it is and kind of understand. You know what, this happened. Can I change it? Nah, that's in the past. But what did I learn from it? You know what I'm saying? And kind of like figure out moving forward, like, what can I do to kind of ensure that stuff like this couldn't possibly happen, or I notice these red flags soon, so I can cut and then exit, center stage left, rather than, like, hey, if I fix this, then everything gonna be all right. Then something happened, and it's like, all right, you know what, this was good. Let me fix this. It's going. So it's like, what I'm saying, it's like a whole pretty much cycle. So my question really, like, how do you know, or how do we actually fully heal? That's my thing.
feel like
Fully heal.
I feel like once you get to know yourself first, I feel like that's what a lot of people don't do is get to know yourself. Fall in love with yourself first. Have fun with yourself. See what you like and don't like. Find out what you would tolerate and won't tolerate. And I feel like that is a way to heal, because once you get into something, then you know, like, all right, no, I'm not finna tolerate that. No, I'm not finna deal with that. Or because you know what, because you have gotten to know yourself. I feel like that's where we lack, is we don't get to know ourselves, because we always too busy trying to be with somebody instead of taking the time out to know what we like, what we want to do, what defines us as us being us and not being defined by somebody else. So I just feel like you just have to get the time to, and I feel like internally you will know when you're healed, because if you deal with somebody and they start bringing some BS, you be like, oh, nope, you stop it right then. You want to be like, well, maybe, let me see if it get better. Like, nah, you're going to stop it right then and there. And that's how I feel like you will know that you have healed. That's what I think personally.
No, I agree. I definitely agree.
I mean, it varies, because what if something triggers? Like, you think you heal, you all like,
then you're not completely healed. If you
but
still getting triggered, then that means you still got some more to work on. So that means you're not truly healed yet.
I think it's all a work in progress. I just say recognize where you as a person feel insecure, and then like tap into why you're feeling that way, and maybe have that open communication with whomever you with, and see if there's something that can be done about it. Like, if there's something, like, if you're as a person doing this on a regular basis and it's making me insecure, maybe not do that as much, or find ways to make that person feel comfortable in the relationship.
If you have a good person, because not everybody is. Some people just gonna say, "Oh, you just tripping, you over
Yeah,
exaggerate."
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah.
So it depends on who you with, because you hope that you with somebody that you can actually be, as the people Orange Outdoor says, vulnerable with. But some people just take that because and just say, "Oh, you tripping." It's like, so my feelings is not valid, basically. So you want, that's initially what you would want in a relationship.
I about to say, that's
But
you
if you have that person, yes. But unfortunately, as we can see, everybody doesn't have that.
well, if you don't have that, then that's something
You
that
need to
person
cut loose.
needs to recognize. Like, okay, this may not be it. Don't be afraid to
Don't be afraid to cut ties with people.
don't think that you won't ever find another person, because you could be missing out on your blessing holding on to somebody that's not fulfilling you
Exactly.
the way a person needs to be fulfilled in order not to be insecure. But I think everyone has a little bit of insecurity. You don't think? Do y'all think everyone has a little bit of insecurity in them?
I mean, everybody does. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I don't. You know what I'm saying? But I'm looking good to notify what they are, and just kind of like just deal with them. You know what I'm saying? But I know for 100% fact, I ain't worried about nobody else. I ain't worried about what nobody was driving, wearing. And it is crazy how the whole dating game has changed, because a lot of things are pretty much have pretty much come on the surface, or pretty much our surface level. Because speaking to like what you're saying about the whole like somebody understanding what your triggers are. Yes, you hope that that person will understand that, hey, I see you. You know what I'm saying? I don't just hear you, I see you. And that's the whole that changes the whole the whole conversation, rather than somebody just doing it just for that moment, like, I'm gonna do this to shut him or her up, and then make a switch, like, all right, boom, it's good for a couple of hours, and after, like, yeah, yo, like, what happened, like that emotional empathy is lacking so bad, like it's horrible. I had a conversation with actually with this girl I was dating, like, a couple years ago, actually last year, and it wasn't the first time I encountered this. And so my whole thing was like, just because you don't see something as present doesn't mean it's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because you don't see something that's affecting you doesn't mean it doesn't affect me. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So you gotta show that emotional empathy and be reflective and understand that if you do something that normally wouldn't affect you, I might see it and say, oh, hey, I'm not cool with that. That's that energy, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that understanding is not that it doesn't click, and sometimes it probably won't, to be honest, until maybe they learn for themselves. It's like, oh yeah, that's what you're like, yeah, like, until it happens to them, then they might see. But other than that, it's just in that moment, that true understanding that you won't have to know.
Right now, that's the key word. It might happen to them. But on the flip side too, what I feel like we also lack is we could actually have someone good, but because we've been in so much toxic, and that you will feel like, dang, this seems to be too good for what it is, and then we start looking for things
Yeah,
to go wrong because we're not used to such greatness, and so that too is a problem where we have to know, like, oh, we do have something good because you've been in so much negativity, and so they can't even see that, dang, this is good in front, and then they start looking for stuff, and then that's not good either. But that's part of the insecurity because they've been in so much trauma and toxic and negative that they can't even see that, dang, it's not even that, because that's not what they used to.
Is that a
nah,
turn off for you? An insecure woman?
not. I mean, to okay, to what extreme would you say?
To the point that she's going through your phone, calling women, asking them, "Oh, how do you know? How do you know him?" You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I told you I dealt with that before, and for me, it's a no for me. If that happens,
That's a
I'm like,
deal breaker.
yeah, it's like I'm like, nah, don't worry about you know, don't worry about the next person. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. It never like clicked for me to like just indulge myself with something like that. To be honest, I'm not even gonna lie. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But I just move accordingly. I just, hey, I do things I think people should do. In reciprocity, but now understanding that just not everybody is raised like me and they'll
Mm.
reciprocate the same thing. But it's a huge turn off for me because I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm not dealing with that.
See,
I'm
that's the thing. Men it's so easy for men to just be able to cut people loose, but for women, they just go through all this instead of just cutting the dude loose. Garbage, you throw garbage out. You don't hold on to garbage.
Well,
And I wish women could be like that, so they can have some peace of mind. But it's like we still in this mindset. Well, having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. I don't know. I forgot who sings that song, but it's like we need to get out of that. No, because if that's the case, then you shouldn't be going through the woman's phone. I mean, going through your man's phone, calling the other woman. If having a piece of man is better than having no man on, just so you can say I got a man. Clearly, you don't have a man. You have a community man.
yeah.
And you need to realize that it's either you want the community man or you want your own man.
how do you go from just because someone's not answering the phone and they're a community man?
I didn't say
Because
because
she's calling his phone. Because she's calling whoever's calling him. That makes him a community man.
yes, but like that one example that I gave when she was like, "Yeah, you're not the only one. He don't talk to other women." But
But that how does that make
clearly
him,
that's not your man. That's a community man. Because if you calling me, you calling all these other women just to let us know, hey, that's my man. Well, just so you know, you're not the only one. He's been talking to other girls too. That's not a community man.
But that doesn't mean that other girls he's talking to are somebody that he's actually talking to.
Well, I know as for me, he was trying to talk to me in that way. And so I'm pretty sure he was trying to talk to the other ones as well. A woman knows. I just wish a woman would just let the trash go so she can have a peace of mind.
But he may not be trash. It just may be in her head. She may honestly.
I know how he was trying to talk to me.
That could be. I mean, some situations like that. I mean, he's trying to bounce around, but
yeah, he's a community. It's like some of these songs, like that other song.
But and then some men,
you might have had him once, but I got him all the time. Clearly, you don't have him all the time. If he with somebody else, and it's like y'all up for steady fighting for trash. We need to let the garbage go. Y'all up for fighting for a man that clearly wants his cake and eat it too. And it's like, why?
So you're assuming based off of that insecurity is because he has other women? You're assuming she's insecure because what if he doesn't have? That's what I'm saying.
Well, he's doing something to make her feel that way. How? So if he's not doing,
how is he? How is it?
But clearly, she's going through the phone and she calling up people talking about, hey, that's my man. clearly he done cheated, or like he said,
Let
from
me,
past relationships. But I can speak on what I've been through. They clearly have been cheated on, because they getting cheated on that very moment.
let me ask you a question. I mean, do you think in a lot of those situations women reach? Because if you dating a guy and he's attractive, you know what I'm saying, he getting attention, you know what I'm saying, like from a lot of women. Um, I mean, that necessarily doesn't mean that he's indulgent or whatever the case may be. It could be as well, but do you think women reach on their side to like those, like you said before, like try to find something because they have something good, just because they see all this interaction? You know what I'm saying? Do you think women reach and say, oh, he might be doing this, and they do that sneaky stuff to try to figure out what your code is and to open your phone? Do you think that's a
Yeah, yeah,
possibility?
yeah. I can agree. Some women do reach, because, like I said, I feel like, my opinion, I feel like the ones that reach are the ones that's been in so much toxicity.
Mhm.
And so when they not dealing with no toxicity, it's like, wait a minute, something can't be right. And so I feel like, they probably would start reaching, because that's not their norm, which is very sad.
Mhm.
Because they used to dealing with so much garbage men, garbage people, period. And so when they have somebody that's actually not that, yeah, I do feel like they could reach and try to find something, because that's just not a norm to them. So yeah, I do feel like some reach.
Have you talked to your cousin since it happened?
I ain't talk. No, I ain't talked to him that day. I talked to his mama.
Like, what you got me in, man? A bunch of mess. Nah, I mean, to be honest, I don't think it will. It might change on some small level, you know, in regards to like how the interaction is, but on the sense of those insecurities are brought on, in regards to women, I think they need to legitimately look on the whole picture and see what type of what the guy is paying for them. You know what I'm saying? Because a guy can paint you something and just have something else in his hand. You know what I'm saying? It's like sleight of hand, like a magic trick. You know what I'm saying? They let you see one thing, but they're doing something else.
Mhm.
So like realizing legitimately what that is, because I've seen it before. I've been in an environment where I've seen, a guy, and I'm saying like just have this whole thing, and I'm hearing, I'm like, I know you're hearing and seeing what this man is doing. For some reason, you're acting, absent-minded to this whole thing. Like, he's saying this, talking about so and so, about another girl, and you just locked in into, I guess what I believe what it is actually what the experience the guy can actually bring for that woman. Because if a woman doesn't have, say, certain access to, like, say, a certain environment, like being taken out on lavish dates, or this and this and this, I feel like with that, a woman would kind of put up with a guy in a sense, or kind of like put a deaf ear to certain things, and just kind of
Mhm.
see what he's bringing to her, giving her access to. That's what I'm gonna say, really.
Yeah, there are some like that, and they are broken. They're not healed. And
I
so a
think
lot of women go and they feed into the lies that the men be telling, and then it also go back into the mindset. Well, at least I have a man. Do you have a man?
Yeah.
Do you really have a man though? Because clearly the same man. I could probably get your man. We could just share your man, because he's a community man. And so I just feel like it gets into that. Women, that's why I be telling her, like, we need to build women up. Be like, hey, you can do for yourself. Like, you don't need no man to say I have a man if he's not treating you right.
I think
Like, I'd rather have
I
a peace
just
of mind.
they both need to have something going on. Like you can't be so in so focused on what the other person's doing. You both need to have some type of life going on. Miss Phyllis, welcome, 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 y'all. The link is in the description if you want to chime in. Um, and it does, insecurities can happen from both ways. It's not always just for the woman who is insecure. Sometimes it's the men that's insecure. Women may be causing the man to be insecure. There's a lot of men who may not want to leave the woman alone. It goes both ways. I'm going to add you to the stream, Miss Phyllis. Hey, Miss Phyllis.
Hey, family, what's going on?
Hey.
How you doing?
Much. Hey, Demaya. Is that how you say your name?
Des Moines.
Demoy?
Yes, we had to have a special guest.
Yeah, I logged in and I was like, who is this talking about he ain't cheating?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I can put right hand to God. I've never cheated on a woman.
I'm
you
just
one of the
joking
rare
with you.
few.
Well, I'll say this: insecurities work both ways. There are men that have such strong insecurities of their own that they won't even give love a chance because of what they've been through. I have met several men over the past maybe 5 years. Like he said, dating has changed. Baby, people say, there's piss in the dating pool. There's more than pee pee in it. It's rough because no one trusts anyone anymore. People automatically bring their past with them. They'll tell you everything that they've gone through with the last person and then put all that jacket on your back. I'm like, wait a minute, but I didn't do any of that. I didn't do none of that. What does that have to do with me?
So that's the other thing. Men be bringing their insecurities onto the woman.
Girl, no, I'm gonna tell you, it's rough.
Even more.
Like a caution.
It is really, you have to know yourself, and being able to sit with yourself and get to know yourself is real. Some people don't want those ghosts chasing them around the room. Let me say that, because when you have to sit still and just listen to and talk to yourself and come and be real with yourself about some things you've done, you can't just beat yourself up about it and say, okay, you know what? That was done. That was then. It's over with. Let me move on. How long do you carry that baggage? Men get very bitter. And they hate every woman. Every woman becomes a gold digging, begging, this, that, and the third. And I'm telling you what I know. And these are and I'm talking about older men.
When they get hurt.
Okay. Let me sit up. Let me sit up. Let me tell you this. I know so many men that I'm just friends with. They have written off, they're going to be, as far as they're concerned, they don't want a relationship. They don't never want to be in another one. So you're going to spend the rest of your life by yourself, end up in a nursing home, can't even wipe your own ass because you want to play games with women. Because too many people go into it already with the mindset, I'm going to do this until something else come along. Baby, if it was something else, they'd have came along already. Right. And that's on both sides of the fence. I know some trifling, ruthless women that have done things to me that in my head, I'm like, what? And he didn't kill you? Because in my mind, the disrespect goes so far that I'm like, there's no way he put up with that. Because in my mind, I'm looking at him as a king. And I'm thinking he wouldn't dare tolerate that kind of treatment or behavior. But shit, yes, he did. Yes, he did. And then when he get a good woman, he run her off with all that extra, accusing her of this and that and the other. She can treat him special. Do you know how many men ain't even used to getting a compliment from a woman? If I tell a man, well, you smell good today, you look nice, they look at me like I got two heads.
Right.
They will literally say, it's been a long time since anybody complimented me. But if you're dealing with a trash ass person that can't even compliment you, that won't even put on your back, you need to leave that person alone. That's not somebody you need to be dealing with. Like you say, women need to let it go. Men do too. Men hang on to shit forever. Thinking
they like to say women
they can't do no better or too lazy to put forth the effort to do better. Or how about just being alone? Going from one thing to the next, never making anything permanent. It's all temporary. Right. And if you're with somebody for any amount of time, you know what their triggers are, and you know what respect is and what respect ain't. Yes. And if you got a woman over to your house at night, at the least, I know damn well these women ain't just calling you that particular night.
Right.
So when you know you got company, turn your phone over, turn it on silent. Don't give her no reason to look through your phone. And then you have an understanding. You let a person know, I don't tolerate this, I don't tolerate that. Because a woman that you tell you don't tolerate that from, she's not looking through your phone. If she do, get rid of her.
Right.
Because see, while you in the bathroom, she look through your drawers. She don't look through all your shit. You just don't know what shit.
Hold on.
You let a person know what you will and will not tolerate. Period, point blank. And don't be afraid to let it go. Because just both sides of the fence. It's like a bus. They coming every 15 minutes. Every 15, 20.
That's what I'm saying.
Rush hour, they faster than that.
But that's the kind of thinking
It's
that.
all about what we're willing to go through,
But
what
that's
you want to tolerate, and you have to compromise. You know, it's not a one-sided situation. It ain't just the women accepting trashy ass men. It's the same. Because us women out here that are single, we catching hell, especially a good woman. I'ma toot my own horn. I cook every day. I'm clean. I work. I ain't no begging woman. None of that. But these men I come across, baby, they are so damaged. And I hurt for them. And I ain't trying to sell myself to nobody. And I ain't trying to convince nobody this way you're supposed to be. Because God gonna lead you wherever it is you need to be.
All right.
But what I won't do is tolerate mistreatment from somebody because of their issues and then putting it on us as women. I'm so tired of that. Like, women are so weak and we so dead set on having a piece of a man. Them days is over. I really think women are doing the shit men used to do, and they can't handle
it. They can't. Okay, what are we gonna say, Tommy?
In regards to what though?
Even hear you. What out?
In regards to what? What are men doing that women pretty much have?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You hear me?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I don't. You can't hear me?
Did you turn me off?
No.
Oh, I know what happened. A phone call came in, and I think that's what happened.
Okay, say it again. In regards to.
You hear me now?
I can't hear.
You can hear me?
Hold on. I'm finna go to. I got you on my phone and on my computer.
Oh, okay.
A whole lot going on right now.
But yeah. But these men are out here, very older generation, very disrespectful. Very disrespectful. Oh my God.
Not all.
It's a lot, man. I would say, to be honest, it's a lot. Because I'm around a lot of older men that are married to, and I've seen a lot of stuff. And just for me personally, women are more on the aggressive side, to be honest. I'll really say on the aggressive side. And to indulge, that's a whole conversation. But I really think with this whole like insecurity thing, women double that down on men a whole lot. I really feel that way. You know, understanding her dealing with older men that are that way, but really and truly, in regards to like how things are like dealt with or how things are presented, I think women have like sometimes this really nonchalant type approach to things, and it can make a man feel like he's not enough in a lot of sense. Because I've seen it time and time. You know what I'm saying? A guy will go above and beyond for women, doing whatever the case may be, showing that hey, this and this and this, and it's like nothing is enough. There's something has to be wrong, and I've seen it time and time after.
I think in that aspect, it probably goes to they're not used to that, and so when they get it, they don't know how to act. How to reciprocate that. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I think maybe people need to take time with dating. They just need to figure out if that's the type of person that's going to make them happy. If not, then be willing to let them go.
It depends on what you look for. You looking for like something momentary, or you want to like
long term,
smash and dash, or like what you looking for?
Well, if you're looking for that something that's just in a moment or smash and dash, then you shouldn't be calling the other person talking about, hey, you know what I'm saying, this.
Yeah.
That's when their feelings got involved.
Well, and for women, I don't care what nobody say, women are emotional. They will feelings get involved real quicker than a man's, because we're just emotional creatures, and that's just how we are, unfortunately. And so
some women say they don't get emotional.
That's what they say. That's what they say. But then something else is coming out their mouth.
I can't hear you, Miss Phyllis.
I think she got the headphone in. Yeah, I can't.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Can you hear me now? Okay, I was gonna say, like I said, I think it's individually based, because a lot of women are not emotional, and you think back in time to And back when women can, this isn't going to be a favorable example, but women can be prostitutes, get up after having several customers in one day and walk away from it.
That's true.
Okay, so we can't just say our women are men are emotional. We tend to show it more because we're more outspoken. Men don't want to because it shows their vulnerability and their emotion, and they don't want to be thought of as weak or being soft or whatever. But I need you to show me that you're human, and that's why a lot of women do things to the extreme, trying to get a reaction out of that man.
But is woman given a good avenue for men to do that though? That's my thing. Because if you're talking about back in the day when women can be prostitutes and just leave, but that's pretty much like an occupation. I mean, they did that to get receive something monetary, so they can't put their feeling into the, oh, well, I'm going to this guy, we're just gonna have sex, whatever, and then they have to leave that out of it. So it's not say I'm just
Plenty of
emotional.
prostitutes fall in love with their tricks.
What's the percentage though? Not the trick. I'm talking
Not
about.
that I would know, because I ain't never been one.
That's what I'm saying though. Like you live with somebody and you a
But what
prostitute.
I'm saying is everybody has their limit and how much emotion they give based on what they've been through in their life.
And
You know
I
what
agree
I'm
with
saying? Every time a mother sees her child fall and hurt themselves, you want to cry because your baby crying, but you can't because sometimes kids react off of us. You know,
but do you think
so
that
I
woman?
don't think all women are just automatically emotionally and soft and break down. Cause I don't seen some men break down, baby. But
I
y'all
know.
hide it better. Y'all hide it. Men hide it in anger. They can display every emotion but love and caring. They can show anger, disdain, frustration, anything negative. But if it's positive, they have a harder time displaying that and acting like they don't care. Because more often than not, if a man acts like or comes off like he doesn't care, that's what's going to send that woman on about her business, and he really does care. But by the time he decides to show it, it's too late.
But do you think that a woman gave the man like a avenue for him to actually express himself like emotionally in a safe space? Because you saying that really a lot of women don't really give men like a safe space so they can actually being able to express themselves. Not
Well,
saying
you
that.
can't. I think so. For me, I do, but everybody doesn't want to be vulnerable in that way. They don't want to be closer to that woman. If he does not display any vulnerability and sharing his feelings, he doesn't want to be close to that woman. Period.
So you're saying that that's his choice to pretty much
Yeah,
express
that's
himself.
his choice. Because a woman can create a safe space for that man and he still won't open up because he's not into her that way.
I mean, then that's proves that point. But if a man is into that woman that way and she does create that space and he doesn't, then that's pretty much on him. But if a man
Right.
is at an emotional intelligent level, like what, I see that this woman is not out for nothing bad. Like she trying to provide, what I'm saying, a safe space for me. It's all about something good or trying to create something. Then what, let me open up. You know what I'm saying? At least increment. Let me open up to like to see and pace myself because no guy really wants to open up himself at one time, even if
Well,
the
no,
space.
you do it in increments. I mean, that's people in
Yeah,
general. Some people spill it all. Some people spill it all.
Yeah.
Some people never spill it, you know.
And the
I
ones I
mean
feel
this.
like that spill it all, the ones that get hurt the most.
Yeah, not,
Sometimes it depends on what the woman does with it because we all don't none of us want to be in a position where we're vulnerable with someone and the first argument we have, they throw that back in our face.
They use it
and that's what
against
I
you.
think about to say. You know what I'm
You
saying? Something
know,
like that or
what
feeling like.
Kevin Hart he said about his wife, that's why you eat booty. He was like, wait a minute, what? To keep the discussion about whatever the disagreement
Personal.
is about. People take things from 0 to 120 and get personal. So
Yeah.
then you decide, well, I'm not sharing nothing with nobody else because I don't want anybody doing me like that again because see, I have to choke somebody out. Or they'll just it becomes a constant chain of distrust.
Yeah,
Period.
I would say I've definitely I was speaking about earlier. In regards to insecurities, I definitely do have some, and pretty much what you just said. the conversation I was saying about me dating the the lady, and she went through my phone. Recently I found out it was like last year I shared something with her in regards to my mom, and my mom is my word. I don't play about her. And I found out through her friend that the thing I told her that was personal, she went ahead and told her. I'm like, that wasn't for you to tell,
Mm.
you know, your friend at all. That was between me and you, even though yes, we
Right.
broke up. But in the sense when we were talking, that's when you told her, and you actually told her a lie. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that kind of got to me. So I'm like, if you and I think it's like when you meet somebody good and you see that they're good, like, this is a good woman, this is a good man, like, and y'all vibing, connecting, and it's like this conversation is just fluid. And then something like that happens, it's like, oh, sure, well, really and truly, who can I trust? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not everything that glitters ain't gold. You know what I'm saying? So, like, who can you really trust? And with that, something like that happen, and not say it's not to really say throw blame, but in regards to that's kind of a one of the heavy thing that causes a lot of men, especially like myself, which is big on trust, empathy, reciprocity, and everything. Something like that happen. Like I'm not going to the next person. Hey, you gotta prove through heaven and hell that you ain't this person. I'm not going to see you as the last person I dated, but I'm gonna hold you to who you are based on my experience with you in that moment.
That's
But
where it takes patience. Patience.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a lot of people have patience, and that's the thing, you know.
Patience is very important in relationship because things ain't going to be
It
resolved in
is.
a day or a night. It takes time. Just like it didn't happen overnight for that person to feel the way they felt. So it's going to take time for them to kind of get through that process.
Mm-hmm.
This is a
And
good question. How do you recover from
yeah,
these insecurities when you want to stay with the person that made you insecure? Me personally, I say you need to cut
You
some
need to go.
ties,
You
but
go. Yeah, you need to go.
Well,
it depends
a
on
lot of
the
times when
situation.
feelings are involved, what I'm saying, you can see, people think people date or be with somebody based on potential. Potential does not get it anymore. It
Right.
doesn't,
Mm-mm.
because the person can come off as really, really nice and really, you know, you think that,
Well, do anything.
okay, I think I can do this. And then there'll be one thing that a woman can do, and a man will discount her for the rest of her days. Oh,
hmm
now they,
hmm
everything you do from that point forward, zero, zero. We give men 100 chances where a man will give you
thousand.
one chance. Say no. If you've been saying yes to everything he ever asked you to do, every favor, every whatever, and then you say no one day, baby, that's the end of it.
He
He
gonna
done
hold
with
that
you.
against you. Remember,
He
I
done
asked you
with
that
you.
one time,
Well,
One
well,
time.
one
but
time.
Will
but to
But
trip.
answer that
Will
question,
completely trip.
yeah, you got
I
two
would
cats.
say therapy.
My gosh.
Go see a therapist if you really want to stay with this person that
No,
made you
I ain't finna go
insecure.
through all that.
Ah, yeah,
I'm
I'm
that's
only
saying,
going to
I'm saying
therapy
for the
with my
question that was
husband.
asked,
I'm
how
not
do you
going to
recover
therapy
from these
with somebody that I'm
insecurities?
just dating.
Yeah, when you want to stay with the person that made you insecure. Because me personally, I'll say, shoot,
no.
you need to
You
drop
gotta
them
see.
like a hot potato. But if you really want to stay with them, then you need to go to therapy. The both of y'all gonna have to be willing
Nah,
to go to therapy and to work on it, and that's gonna be a whole lot of work.
it
but why?
depends.
But if that's you really want to be, then shoot, you have to go to therapy for that.
I
But why
think
would they
there's
go through that?
multiple ways to recover from insecurities. Maybe change the way you
Interact
go
with each other, interact with
interact,
other
spend more
people.
time with each other. I mean, that's the communication has to most
Yes, it
importantly be there.
has to
You
be
got to
there.
communicate,
But you can
and
communicate, and if they don't lie before, you gonna be thinking that they lying in.
well, I mean,
Well, you gotta. You
there's
can't.
certain
If you believe everything come out their mouth is a lie, then you don't need to be with them. Like,
exactly. That's
why
what I'm
would I want to
saying,
be with somebody I keep accused, have to keep checking everything they do? I'm not about. I don't have time in my day for that shit.
and that's a
You
whole
know?
different issue. If you're lying, then if I
Yeah.
can't
If you're a
even
liar, you
trust
was
the
lying
words that
before
come
we
out of
decided we
your mouth,
gonna do this, right? Your lies are going, your lying behavior and your integrity is gonna come out in the beginning. Because I'm telling you, within the first 90 days, the real person is coming out.
right?
I don't give a darn who you are. You can only fake it for so long. You think you got a really good person, look up and he biting his own toenails off and be
Well,
like, you
now
do that
some
on the regular?
people, Miss Phyllis, some I know you heard them stories. Some people they
Baby, they carried
lived
on
a
for a
whole
long
double
time.
life, and the person
Yes.
never knew. So some people can
But
can
you know why?
can
You know
hide
what
their
they
lies
knew?
very
Let
well.
me tell you
I
something.
think they'll be
Everybody know what
fine.
they got. People be putting on blinders and making
Yeah,
believe. They see what they want to see. They hear what they want to hear. Keep it real with yourself. This person has did this, that, and the third to me. You're not gonna convince me I didn't just see you get out the car with this woman. I know
right,
what I saw. That wasn't me. You sure that wasn't you? I know it was you.
Oh, they
What's
be
that
like,
old
no, it
blues
was me,
song? If
but
you didn't
that's
put your
just a
hands on me,
friend.
then it sure wasn't me. You
you have
know?
to, yeah, you have to, and then that there goes where that person has to take accountability from themselves.
They're
That
not going to.
No,
They're not. If they lying to you like that, they not. They just gonna keep convincing you that you've done something wrong. Trying to anyway. You see
trying,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
You can't. The truth don't need an alibi. That's first of all. When if you ain't got nothing to hide, then don't hide nothing.
right,
And that's just the bottom line to that. The truth don't even. The minute you go to explaining yourself, you done did something. You ain't got no business. And generally, things happen. They just fall in your lap. You don't even. I'm gonna tell you a perfect example.
I'll say it depends on the circumstance about
Well,
that.
I'm gonna tell you
that's what I
this.
say.
That's
I
true.
say depends
Well,
on circumstance.
definitely. I was with someone and we was Facebook friends. All of a sudden they came across my feed as somebody I might know. What? Might know. I'm in the same house with you. What the hell you mean? Might know. You see what I'm saying? How stupid people are. You unfriend me because you talking to somebody else that you done friended on Facebook. And that just, I wasn't looking for nothing, minding my own business. They just come across my feed as somebody I might know. I'm in the same house with this person. Of
Oh,
course I know them. So when I go to them and say, dog,
hey,
what's
that's
this
God.
about? How is it that I might know you?
Hey,
Did you unfriend me?
What'd you say, the one?
that's God right there, man. That's what it
See what
is.
I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. You
Facebook
don't
be getting
discount
folks in
that.
trouble. That's
No,
what
no.
it is.
You see
Facebook
what I'm
get folks
saying?
in trouble.
You got to. I'm saying you dot your I's and you cross your T's and you keep it real with people. Because for me, I think it is hard. It is very hard to believe that one person can satisfy my needs for the rest of my life. One person. Temptation is hell. And we live in a world of temptation. And generally, say for instance, a man or a woman gets cheated on, and you see the person they cheating on you with, and they look unfavorable. You like, well, what she, that person look a mess, or this, that, or
That
the
brings
third.
about some insecurities right there.
See what I'm saying? It's not even about what you look like. That person do something for them that you're not doing. Because if somebody's giving you what you need and what you're missing, they're gonna cling to that. If
My
if
thing
if
is,
if the
that's what
girl
you
with
need to
one
go
eye
with.
between her head, between her eyebrows, is not going through his phone and not giving him drama, that's who he gonna be with. He gonna be like, this finna be my little yay, my little one eye yay right here. That's my boo. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah,
Because
but he gonna
everybody
still
wants
probably have somebody else on the side too.
Not all men
maybe,
are like
maybe
that.
not.
Not all
You
men
see
are
what I'm
like
saying? See how you just gave that example. He probably do. Why would you assume that
that.
he got
Right.
somebody else on the side because his main woman got one eye? Why he can't love her with all he got?
Facts.
Why? You know what I'm saying?
Just
People
because
have
it
to
ain't something that you see in that person
exactly,
doesn't mean that's not something that he
exactly,
sees in that person. That's what people don't
exactly,
understand. They be thinking it's
exactly.
all beauty and stuff.
It
Maybe it's
ain't.
your
It's
personality.
about. It's a whole lot of things that
Yeah.
cover it. You know
Well,
what I'm
really, because
saying?
Flavor Flav got plenty of women. He has whole shows worth 10 on me
Girl,
fight.
and he couldn't touch me with somebody else's hands. You
And
hear
he got
me?
20 kids, so clearly he's
Ooh,
doing a lot of
I can't
touching.
even imagine. But he do something for them women aside from his money. He do something for them.
Flavor
That
Flav has drama.
girl,
Whatever.
that's a TV show. What in real
For
life, we
real.
don't
But
know
he
what
do
that
have
man
real
like.
life kids, a whole
He,
bunch of
yeah,
them.
and that's drama. 20 kids. You know that's some rough rocky road.
So you don't think he was insecure?
Oh yes.
See, I'm
Oh
asking you. Don't
yeah.
think he has some insecurities?
Because for one thing, he's not an attractive man, and he's short. Let's just keep it real. Him being short and unattractive, he
Mm,
can't be short, unattractive, and broke,
you gotta pick a.
and 20 kids. 20 kids. Let's just say before he even got to 20, when he walked with some woman, she said, well, how many kids you got? And he say 7. Got to be more careful. You see what I'm saying? How we gonna do anything? How many child support checks you sending out? We can't do nothing. I knew a guy once that had 7 kids by 6 women and barely was working. Each mother got $20 every 2 weeks in child support. Do you hear me?
What?
See, and that's what I
Exactly.
feel like women need to do better with their
Now me,
choices.
but see, that's
Because
just
how
it.
you
Why you saying women got to do better? He know he had all them damn kids.
but and she know, I'm sure she knew it too, but she still chose to
But
sleep
you,
with him.
but you don't know. You don't know.
Sometimes
Unless
you
he's
don't
out here
know.
lying.
They be like, what man
Nah,
want to tell
they
a woman
know.
he got seven
They
kids
know.
off top?
They know. They just decide to keep a blind eye to it. You know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's not
People
just
see
it's
what
not
they want to see
men.
and
That's
hear
what I'm
what they
saying.
want to
These
hear.
women need to do
I
better.
understand women need to be more careful. Like it's just not on the men. Like well, we know we gotta do better. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm
Hmm.
for category. So just for those men that not doing what it's supposed to do, they need to fall in line.
They
But at the
need to
same
Also,
grow
time,
you
up.
saying men need to be held accountable and
Yeah, they
responsible
need
for
to
their
grow up.
actions.
They
yes,
need to
but
grow
women
up.
need to be held accountable for their interaction or for them not
Mm.
taking a what am I saying? I see in the eye to that situation. They see it, but they just don't want to see it.
So let me ask you this: do you feel like you as a man period needs to hold each other accountable and be like, when you see your brother doing something out of line, like, hey man, you know what you doing ain't right, right? Like you need to do right. Do you
Have
feel
you ever
like
checked one of your friends? That's what I want to know. Like
yes?
seriously, not giggling, not like say, dog, why you doing that, man? You know you wrong. Like check him for real.
No.
See,
But
we
the
gotta
thing,
hold each other.
but
We
all
have to do
yeah,
better about taking our own advice, and
this
I'm
my
trying
thing
to live
because
by that.
ain't
Is
nobody trying to
taking
get
my
nobody's
own
business.
advice.
Ain't nobody trying to get nobody's business, because Kate. Okay, so this happened to me in college. I was dating this girl, and we kind of went through situation and found out she kind of was talking to somebody else. So my roommate actually told me. He was like, "Hey, the man, just let you know, blase blase." I'm like, "Oh, word." He's like, "Yeah, man, she was over old dude's house." I'm like, "Oh, for real?" I'm like, "Okay." So situation, cut ties. One of my guys on the track team, because where she was at, actually where the conversation was had, a lot of the guys that I knew that was on the track team, like they pretty much knew, and it was confirmed. So I went to this one dude that that I consider my brother. I'm like, "Hey, did you know so and so happened that she was indulging or whatever?" He was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Bro, like why you didn't tell me?" He's like, "Man, I just feel that wasn't my place. I mean, like, hey, I mean, I'm your boy, I'm saying if the same thing would have happened, I would say, hey man, I heard some stuff, you might need to, kind of see what's going on." But a lot
That's
of
a
times,
tough
like,
one.
yeah,
That's a
I'm saying,
tough
men
one.
don't really want to like go to their boy, like tell,
Yeah.
especially if you're married, and then the married person has a side chick and say, "Hey man, that ain't cool, man. You got a whole family, you got kids, like what you like." That ain't
Hmm.
my place. You know what I'm saying? That's when,
Well, I mean, to
But
talk to
how men
him,
supposed
friend
to
to
get
friend,
better? Because men,
right? To
y'all
talk to
be
him
quick
as a
to
friend and say, don't you think that, especially if you know her, his wife as well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have been in situations where I've seen like a friend of mine's, her boyfriend or husband or whoever with somebody, or and that female would say, "You better tell me." But the minute I told her, and I didn't even just flat out say, "Hey, he cheating" or whatever, I kind of put it where she can put it together because we all know what we got. She mad at me because I know what she got. She stopped talking to me.
yeah,
That's what it
that's
is.
that's the thing.
So you see what I'm saying? She stopped talking to me because the public humiliation is hell.
Yeah.
It is hell. It's okay if your spouse or whoever is cheating or be having these um inappropriate relationships privately, but once it becomes public knowledge, that's a whole nother story for everybody, right? Because you may have been okay with it had none of your friends knew, and that made you look like a sap. You know
And
what
then
I'm saying?
they expect your friends expect you to do something. You know you ain't about to
Right.
do anything about it. So then you
Hmm.
get
And
mad
your
at your
friends will get
friend.
mad at you for not doing what they feel like you should do
Right.
about that situation.
That's another thing. A friend will tell you what you need to do about your situation. Like,
Yeah, and get
no.
mad at you because you won't do it. You still
Right.
seeing him. You need to let him go. Girl, if you don't get somewhere and sit down and mind your business, because I just
Right.
saw Joe coming out the house next door.
Right. Right.
He might be
Right.
How
the one
about that?
who want him. That's the thing.
Yeah, well, now that ain't even that necessarily, but misery love company. Misery. Now, some people have a genuine concern and they're telling you genuinely. Me, if it ever, I said it's happened to me twice. and the person stopped talking to me. You see what I'm saying? So my mother told me, honey, you ain't got to tell a woman about her man. She know what she got, and a man do too. If you paying attention a little bit, because your men are creatures of habit, and the minute y'all got some new shit going on, baby, everything changed. I mean, instantly.
For real.
Hold on,
Instantly,
you learn
it
that?
changed. You can
So,
tell that something going on. Cause you call me every day between 6:30 and 8. And if you call me at 9 o'clock, what the hell? He doing something. He ain't got no business. And we ain't got to look for it. It's just gonna fall right in our lap. He gonna tell it on himself.
I heard
it's
this from
gonna come out. That's why I say you don't have
Oh
to.
yeah.
That's why I feel like women don't really have to be so insecure because it's gonna come
Mm-mm.
out eventually. It's
If you
just
just let it alone, let it be. Let
But
it
this
it's
be.
might
gonna
be
hurt though.
5 years down the road.
No, it won't. No, it won't.
That's too long.
You
No, it
would the
won't.
signs are there. It's gonna
The
come out
signs are,
eventually. You
some
just
of the
have to be
signs be
willing
so
to.
blatant. It can
Yeah.
be a matter of your communication change, your physical connection changes, their intimacy level changes. A lot of things you can tell when the person is in
that's
another state of mind.
that's
You
true.
know, they they're physically, but mentally they somewhere else. They in a hurry to get on to whatever it is they think they can do over here or there. And I'm talking both sides, men and women.
Mhm.
So if you take care of home, and it's still not serving you well, you're still not getting what you need out of it, it's not adding to your happiness and your peace, I say move on. And sometimes it does take some people a long time to let go of things, because I am guilty of that as well. But the process of starting over,
Oof.
right, see what I'm saying? Then you got
But
to go through this
it's
whole
worth it.
trail of craziness, you
Yeah,
know.
it's patience. It's just willing to take your time under
But I say,
communication.
and
But
women
some
don't
people
do
are
like
very
men.
impatient.
Men will date 4, 5 women.
Man,
A woman will clutch on to one man and hang on to it. While he out there dating 4, 5 people, he weighing his options. We should do the same.
But y'all
Fair
do.
exchange ain't no robbery.
What you say, boy?
Woman do. What you mean?
Some do, some don't.
women are learning to do it. Yes,
Yeah,
and
we're learning to do it. A lot of women don't.
Yeah.
Some do, some don't. Because a woman can't do what a man do and still be called a lady. Because the
Right.
minute we say, if I tell you, well, yeah, me and you gonna date whatever, but I do date other people. The first thing come to a man's mind is I'm screwing
sleeping.
all of them.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
all they think.
That's all y'all think
They're
is that
sleeping.
when I
Women,
say
But
women
dating,
that's
do
what
the
they
because
same
that's
doing,
what's
so
on
thing.
they
y'all's
gonna
Women
mind.
do
keep
the
doing
same
it
thing
too.
too.
Yeah,
That's
Women
they
what's
do
do.
on a
the same
man's
thing.
mind though. 9 times out of 10, baby. I'm telling you.
But yeah,
You
And
women
tell
women
me,
feel that
I
same way about men too. They think the men
do the
sleeping with
same
all the
thing.
women. Yeah.
exactly.
Because a point
Because
in
when
case,
you say dating, that's a wide range. You have to get an explanation, because what it means to me may not be what it means to you. You
Right.
know?
yeah.
Because and like I said, a woman can't do what a man do and still be called a lady. If it was a different car pulling up at my house every night and I'm going out with somebody, my neighbors would think I'm running the whole house over here.
Facts.
Don't
But a
know I'm
man
not
can
doing
do it
nothing.
and they see
Huh?
nothing of it.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's a
Men praise other
stereotypical.
men that do like, oh yeah, you got
Listen,
this,
they
that,
fist
that.
bump each other over it. Do you hear me? And generally, most women have a rule. If there's ever, say for instance, a guy that I'm interested in or I've ever dated, if it's one of you, he's off limits to me. I don't care if y'all dated in the 6th grade. He is off limits to me. Men don't do that. Men will date his homeboy's old girlfriend.
And
Some
then
women do too, mind
drag the
you, because
girl.
I do. I know people who have dabbled in a whole lot of different things. But if you, I just honestly believe if you live right and do what you know is right, right, it's gonna come to you. Not always, but don't keep collecting red flags. You'll have a wagon full of them. They'll
I
never
think
stop. And
I say it all the
the more
time.
you allow a person to get away with, you're teaching them how to treat you, and they're
Mhm.
gonna keep on and keep on and keep on. And sometimes they test you just to see how much they can get away with.
That's
And
fast. Because
that's
a
and that's
person's
what
only
women
gonna
do.
treat you the way you allow them to treat you.
Yeah, but I can't stop you from doing nothing to me unless I remove myself, and I'm gonna do that because that's the worst thing I can do to you is remove myself from your life because I know I'm a good person. You're gonna feel it when I'm gone. You're gonna be
Right.
sick in the dog, and men will bench a woman, play that game with her, run along, just benching her so he can see what else is gonna go. Well, I'm gonna see how this gonna go over here, but I'm gonna leave her dangling right quick. I'm gonna see how long she sit here on the bench. Now, coach, don't save me for later because I ain't gonna be there. Either you
Yeah,
put me
I
on,
just
either if I put on my suit to come to play, I need to play. I ain't just sitting there with that shit on, that helmet on.
it's the games for me. I just wish folks would just be more honest up
They not
front.
gonna do it.
It's the
You gotta.
game. Like,
It
why
takes
are
a
you?
lot to find genuinely 100% honest
Yeah.
people. I'm honest to a fault, and it has been my
That's
detriment.
not even just relationship. That's friendship. That's any
That's
kind of
what I'm saying.
ship.
It has been to my detriment. My honesty has really been to my detriment because I haven't found anybody as loyal as me, and I ain't gonna lie.
But I mean, so I mean, and I'll say this, and this is where I made my mistake, is that putting that energy out there to find somebody as whole as you. Um, I mean, if you're saying it on that level, that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna find someone that's as reflective as you. That I would say that's
I don't agree with that because I believe that there is somebody out there that wants what you want the way you want it. I
um.
honestly do because everybody's idea of a perfect relationship isn't necessarily a conventional way.
So
You
you're saying
know,
every single way in everything that you want, there's somebody out there that actually that can really match that energy like
I do.
100%.
That I do because there are people out there that have, okay, maybe they not 100 but they 99.9 or whatever it is that they have, it works for them. That's what I'm saying. Because in all relationships, you have to make some sacrifices and some compromises. Every single person out here could have somebody if they would just determine what it is they want to
Figure
sacrifice, how much they
See,
want to go
and
through,
that's the
how
thing.
much they
It has
want
to
to
be
put up
both
with.
parties have to be willing.
Exactly. That's what
It
I'm
can't
saying.
just be
It's all
one
about what
party
you want to go, how much you want to go
sacrificing
through,
and
how much you
compromising
ready to
everything.
sacrifice.
It needs
Yeah.
to be both parties, and that's the
It's
hard part, trying to
yes.
find both parties, because usually it be one party and the other party just take. They
Because
won't.
you giving, giving, giving.
Right,
Stop giving, giving, giving. If they just take, they can only take what you give.
and they won't give anything.
Well, don't. Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're only gonna take what you give. So you have to set boundaries. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to step outside of who you really are in order to set those boundaries with people and let them, and let them treat you, the way you want to be and deserve to be treated.
But that goes back to, you got to spend time with yourself to get to know
Exactly.
yourself, so you can know how you want to be treated, because you're going to treat yourself the way you want other people to treat yourself. So that
Most
goes back
times, some
to,
people mistreat themselves though.
and they get mistreated.
that's why they like what they
Exactly.
like that.
And
Exactly.
so
That
they
I
need
don't
some more
understand the
healing on
chaos.
the inside. So that
I
just goes back to spending time with yourself. That's the main
hmm
thing that's lack. People don't spend enough time with themselves, because once people start spending time with themselves, they start to realize, dang, I don't like myself.
or
So
yeah,
they
I
have
need to
to go
work
and
on
find
this. Yeah.
somebody, so they don't have to spend time with themselves, because they don't like themselves. They don't
hmm
love themselves. And
Exactly.
you got to work through all of that. You got to find yourself.
It's a learned behavior, that a lot of us aren't willing to do the work because relationships are work in any capacity. They are work, and a lot of people don't want to put in the work. They just like, okay, whatever happened, happened. We
And it's
just
a lot
stuck
of
in
work
it.
when one person is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It needs.
There's a
It
one,
Mm-hmm.
takes work for
one
both,
person doing it.
and
Exactly.
you
Because the
need.
That
thing, like what I've realized is, is what makes this whole thing difficult is relationship nowadays is more so what you can get from somebody. That's really what it is. How can I? What does this person have that I need either to make me whole or fulfill whatever it is that I want? You
For
know what I'm
that
saying? I
time
can
being.
feel good about myself. How can I manipulate that to have it expand over a period of time or maybe last for that moment? That's how a lot of things are going. You know what I'm saying? That's how people get used. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
A woman might run into the guy that say, hey, listen, this man right here is for you. Hey, this woman right here is for you. And you might look at her or look at him and be like, okay, and legitly see what she has and just take, and pretty much becomes a whole cycle. So I
Mm-hmm.
think in regards to people acknowledging that, I mean, it's not going to change because legitly, what can I get from you? Is it superficial? Is it physical? Is it monetary? Like, is like what is it? Can you
But
teach
what
me?
do you do when you come across the woman that doesn't want anything from you but you?
Mm.
What do you do with that?
I mean, then I accept it. Really?
Do you?
Yeah.
Most
I
men
Let,
don't. They
It's
don't.
hard for men to accept that.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
don't.
I've come
Because they
across.
like they waiting on the other shoe to drop. I know she wants something.
Mm-hmm.
She got to want something.
And that's where the insecurity comes in because of maybe what he dealt with in the past.
Exactly.
And nobody
Baggage.
nobody
They
wants to
dragging them bags from relationship to relationship.
nobody wants to let go because if I, as you said before, if I let go, I'm gonna have to be vulnerable. I'm gonna miss out on maybe going out this week and some bad chick come and talk to me and she got a body and you know what I'm saying, and I could possibly smash that. It's a whole bunch of
And then
so
you get home and she musty.
and you bring home something
Then what?
musty.
You see what I'm saying? But you picked the chick. You didn't pick the chick who was really vibing, digging you, right?
Mm.
Maybe you was at the club. She bought you a drink just cause she a woman about it. What you drink? Let me buy you something to drink. But you ain't
What?
looking at her cause maybe her shape.
What? Why is a woman buying a man drink? Hold
Crystal, hold on,
Wait,
hold on.
you ain't came by a man a drink?
Y'all finna say since when can a woman not buy a man a drink?
What?
It's
Why?
a drink, man. It ain't marriage.
What?
Hold on.
God damn. We standing there having a conversation. I might buy him a drink. He buy me one. I
What's,
buy the
ain't
next
nothing wrong
round.
with that.
Ain't
Ain't nothing
shit wrong with that. See,
Okay,
that's
I
what I'm
don't
talking
understand.
about. That's why men don't feel like they feel like women only want to take. You can't buy a man a drink that you stand there talking to 45 minutes.
Sometimes men will buy a round and then the woman be like, okay, well, I got the next round.
Exactly.
Boom. Ain't nothing wrong with
Exactly.
that.
There is
I don't get
nothing
that.
wrong with
But
that.
Hold on.
he, I don't know. I guess that part I'm old school.
Well,
Hold
I'm
on.
old school too, but I also believe in doing my part because if that's who you really are, if you just there so men can buy you drinks, then that's the caliber of people you gonna attract.
I don't go to the bar.
I don't either.
I
I
don't
do.
go to the
I
bar.
drink at home.
I
No.
don't drink at all.
If
So
I'm in the club, I stay away from the bar because legitimately what I started noticing is that certain women, not a lot of women, no,
Mhm.
they position themselves and just be there and just looking and not saying nothing at all. Not
Lurking.
talking to the bartender, not looking good, whatever. I saw this dude and I'm like, hey, it's your money, do you? At least just out of random, just two girls came to sat there and they were talking to each other. They didn't even like get the bartender's attention. And I'm looking, I'm like, dude just came over and started talking, like, hey, want me to buy you a drink? Like, yeah, sure. They got a drink, left. Two more came, did the same thing. I'm like, you tripping, bro. So you just giving, I'm like, hey, do your thing. And it's crazy. I'm
But
like, nah,
I mean it's a drink and it's a watered down drink at that. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like
I,
she
I've,
bought
I've had it both ways. I had a guy buy me a drink just because. So
right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think
oh, no.
just because a person buy a drink, that means you're going to get a number. Just buy a person a drink. You're going to buy a drink. Call it a day. Don't have any
Exactly.
expectation. It's like $9. If you ain't got it, do the Wells drink on sale. That's about $5. If you ain't got it,
Exactly.
just don't do it.
I mean, if you can't afford to do it, then don't. By all means, if you have a hang up about it because you think she gonna think you a sucker for buying her one drink, then by all means, do not buy the drink. Or men thinking that well, if I buy you this drink, then you got to leave with me, baby. You can have this $7 back.
For real.
You can have this $7 back, sugar, because this ain't even what I drink off top, And for me to clear that air, you bought me one, let me buy you one, and then I'm out.
There you go. Yep.
See, that's the kind of woman I am, baby. You can keep your little $7 here. Let me buy you one, baby. What you drinking? Corona here. Can you get him a Corona? It was nice meeting you. I'ma holler. See you next time, and I'm out. It's just that simple. Exactly. Buying the first drink is a conversation starter.
Does it
If
have
you
to be
you know what I'm saying, it ain't like I just said that when I buy you this drink, you know what's up, right? You know,
You better not walk off.
yeah, you
You
know
better.
what's up. What's that? Some dudes will buy you a drink and then follow you to the damn bathroom.
For real.
Be like, bruh.
Take this
So
drink back.
yeah, no, I'm finna drink it and buy me one too, because he done got on my nerves. If people would just lower their expectations, and just keep it real.
Yeah, just
Like,
be genuine about it. If you out there, if
yes,
you looking for something, you probably gonna find the wrong thing you looking
that's
for.
what I'm saying. When you go looking, you're going to find some shit that you wasn't even looking for. And generally, the most genuine relationships, and first of all, you got to be friends. You got to build a friendship because you can be any kind of way with your friend. Like,
Right.
men walk around the house looking terrible just like women do. We look like Celie and Mister on Saturdays and Sundays, you know, a mess. That's who you know, that's your friend. You can, somebody you really comfortable with that can see you when you sick, when you looking like you just been ran over, and they still feel the same about you. If it's all about I gotta be glamorous all the time for you to feel the same way about me, the
Who you
minute
need
you
to let
catch
that
me
go?
look, then yeah, I ain't gonna be able to do it. We not even genuinely friends. Cause that realistically, I don't look like that all the time. Neither
You
do you.
you expecting too much. You want that perfect.
Exact. They want
Everybody
some
ain't finna
made
be
up
like Whitney,
TV.
Wayne,
They live
Wayne
in
on
video
It's the
life.
World
I call
waking
it the
up,
video life,
putting on some makeup and stuff to look good and then lay back down like
Yeah,
you
that's
with
that
friends.
that's that
Everybody ain't finna
video
be
life. That
doing
shit ain't real.
that.
Real life, I wake up and baby, this be this way, and I gotta find my glasses so I can see. You know what I'm saying?
I may have some slobber this
You
morning.
some if it was a good night of sleep, yeah,
Yeah,
it better be. Got crust in your eyes, you got the dragon breath, just the whole 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? Just everything
real.
about being genuine. If I can't be myself or be who I am around you, we can't even be friends. Now I may not show you all the everything right off the bat. I'm gonna ease you into it. Men and women ease each other into things. You know what I'm saying? You might keep a junky house and she keep a really clean house. You may not ever want her at your house because you be insecure about how you keep your house, or what you have in your house. You know what I'm saying? If that person feels indifferent about you because of that, then that ain't that she's not for you, or
Yeah,
he's
that's
not
it.
for you.
If that's a deal breaker, then let it be a deal breaker. Don't be trying to
Exactly.
hold
Move
on to it.
around.
That's what pisses me. Don't be holding on to something you know that you're
You
not
know
gonna be
you can't
comfortable
do.
with for the rest of your life. It's
Mm-hmm.
not gonna work that way. Just put
That
it out
goes
there.
back to knowing what you are able to tolerate and not able to tolerate.
Mm-hmm. What I can't do it.
Then it has to go
Camille and I
to
had a conversation about this last week, and we were talking about something. I said, "Oh no, I ain't gonna be able to do it."
so yeah, that just goes back to knowing your self-worth.
Exactly.
Self-worth
And
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 self-love.
yes, and some people don't know how to operate outside of the toxic. They don't
That's
know how to
true.
have a
That's so
relationship
sad.
with it when it ain't a
So
bunch of
something that
fussing, fighting, and arguing.
really, they've been so used to stuff like that. It's like, well, I know
Mm-hmm.
this is regular. I know the ins and outs. I know what's gonna happen. So if I step outside of that, then I'm gonna step into something that's unfamiliar, which is good for
Mm-hmm.
them. But let me stay in this toxicity because I know what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I know
They're
exactly.
afraid of, so a lot of people be afraid of the unknown, not knowing, not knowing is scary, what I'm saying? They want to be in control of every aspect of it. And you can't control every situation and everything that happens in that situation, And too often it can backfire. You wind up losing somebody that you really, really did care for, and could have had something special with, but because of insecurity, one from one or the other or both, it just didn't work out because there was just so much headbutting.
Mm-hmm.
And one person always having to over explain themselves, or and the other person is over analyzing everything they say. Well, you said, and what did you mean by that? Picking apart every word they say, till there's no peace, and when I see those memes and stuff that say a man wants peace, women want peace too.
Yeah, it's on both sides.
Yeah, I know I do. I'm not used to or accustomed to arguing, fussing, and fighting, and just chaos. You know what I'm saying? When I
Yeah,
see people do it, I look at them like, "What are y'all doing?"
yeah, I'm done with that. That's something I've dealt with. What I'm saying, in my life, pretty much. In certain situations, I'm like, there's no sense in staying something where, as you said just a while ago, you have to over explain, like, listen, man, like
Yes,
what it is. It's like, and you just feeling exhausted and drained. I'm like, yo, it shouldn't be like this. Because at the end of
exactly.
the day, it's either you trust me or you don't. You know what I'm saying? You
And that's the bottom line.
Okay, so
regardless.
he said, why not hold those high expectations if you hold those same high expectations for yourself?
Exactly. Don't people too often expect what they can't deliver? You know what I'm saying? They want somebody that looks this way, makes this amount of money, lives this way, all that, but they don't have any of that. They don't have any of what they require. And
Be
men are
realistic. Be
huh?
realistic. I was like,
Exactly. Men and women do it. You know, they want all these requirements. He's got to look this way, drive this kind of car. She too, you know, and but they don't have any of it. They ain't got no job. They ain't got
Actually,
nowhere to live.
let me say this. Let me say this. Actually, I'm gonna disagree with you. The reason why I disagree with you,
Hmm.
uh, I mean, I see the value in your point, but the reason why I'm gonna go on the left side is I've encountered a lot of women and just through this conversation and even like friends too, you know. And especially this conversation, I met this young lady. You know, I saw her before, you know, complimenting her in the outfit she was wearing, and I saw her again. I'm like, I think I saw her before. And I was just having a conversation, say, hey, now how you doing? I'm saying, introduce myself. She jumps to like, you know, say, hey, so what's up? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you don't get my number? I'm like, oh, I mean, all right, I guess so.
If you
I,
giving it,
hey, with those comments, I'm like, that's a
no, okay.
conversation. Like, you seem cool, your energy seem nice. Oh, hey, you know, how you doing? So she I had on my shirt that has my pretty much, you know, the school I teach at. She's like, oh, you're a teacher? I'm like, yeah, what teacher? I took my phone out. I have an Android. She's like, oh, you got an Android? I'm like, yeah. She's like, ooh. So I'm like, what? She's like, I don't know, man. Your talking game got to be on point because I might not text back. I'm like, oh, for real? So I started laughing. I'm like, really? It's like, yeah. I'm like, so you're telling me a device that I can talk to you and text you on because it gives a different color bubble when it comes up on your phone. You look at it and be like, ugh, I can't do it.
She's childish.
I'm like, she like, I work in corporate America, so I can have that stand. I'm like, are you for real? So I started
What's
laughing.
up with these corporate America people?
Yeah, she like, you know, she would talk about her job, like, you know, quite often, like, kind of throw it. I'm like, okay, I kind of peep who you already. She was like, yeah, you know, like, you a teacher, ain't gonna enter. I'm like, is this? And it's crazy.
She's shallow and she's
Yeah, I'm like,
childish.
I see why you single. You know what
that's
I'm saying?
Hmm.
that's your sign to dip.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I
That's
literally just deleted the number. I'm like, all right, delete. I'm like, nah, you good.
yeah.
I would have never put it in my phone. Well, I tell you what, don't worry about it, little mama. I'm gonna holler at you.
Yeah, that was after. Like, I'm like, oh, word. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's the kind of thing too. Like, and is going on so much because me and my homeboy actually spoke about it last night about that same situation. You know that I don't know if y'all probably saw the whole study that came with that if you have an Android, your
Yeah.
success rate is like close to none. I'm like, that's crazy.
That's the
You know, and I don't
that
like
is crazy.
people will use that statistic and be like, see, if you that's why you need to get this type of phone. It doesn't matter what type of device you have. That doesn't dictate anything.
You got a $1,400 phone, but ain't even got a bed to sleep on.
Whoop.
Got sleeping on the floor, let alone an air mattress.
That's
Because
true.
you're trying to keep up appearances for other people on an iPhone.
I'm
See,
not.
that's shallow, that's childish, immature. It's a whole lot of things. Like if you judging me by the phone, then I guess we ain't gonna never make a baby because I ain't never going to Apple.
Well, I have Apple, but it still doesn't mean it. I mean,
No, I'm saying it don't mean a thing. If you
mean
basing my self-worth on my phone, come on, dog.
See, that's some childish people
because
that need
even
to
Right.
work on their inside. They are internally broken.
it's just it,
It's a lot of stuff broke with
it doesn't
them.
mean
And they
it,
need to
it,
be
literally doesn't mean anything because there's a lot of engineers who prefer Android
Well,
over.
Android was the originator and
Yeah,
the creator. That's
yeah.
what people want to sidestep and forget that. Apple copied everything from Android. Let's just put it out there and be
He said,
done with it.
right.
I don't say,
Moving on to the next. We
Apple
know
came
the
out 2
truth.
years ago.
but the
Right.
point is,
I don't give a damn how many years ago it was.
a device shouldn't dictate
Yeah.
who.
a person's worth.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah,
But
it
you
was.
know what? That's a generational thing too. Because see, I'm a Gen X. What am I? X or Z?
I think you're.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. All I would say
How you
is,
know?
I would say y'all generation.
How you know?
I would think. I
You're
would
a
think
millennial, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I would
See what
think
I'm saying?
this generation
I
of dating
think
is different.
I think you're a millennial for sure.
like how old?
How old do I think you are?
Yeah.
Probably early 30s.
Oh, yeah, I just turned 30 like November.
See what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
bet you don't know how old I am.
Huh?
You can't. How you think I am?
Don't fall for it.
You 30, 37, 38, 37, 38.
I
I'm
think it's time
55.
to end.
You 55.
The bitch look good. This broom still sweeps, baby. I sure am. And I'm proud of my age. And you know why? I don't let nobody stress me out. I don't let nobody stress me out. And
Now I
I
think
suggest
more attracted to actually older women, to be honest, like more like 35 and up.
You said
Um,
what?
He's
he
I'll
just turned 30.
not even like I don't know what it is, and
The
based on
maturity level.
huh?
The
Yeah, the
maturity
maturity
level.
level. Yeah, because he speaks like, an older, like he's older. I can tell he's a millennial, but he speaks, with a level of maturity, without all the materialistic thought processes, that's shallow, you know, you got to look like this or that or have this and that, So,
Yeah,
um,
I really don't. I don't care. I don't care about nothing superficial. I really don't. You know, I mean, obviously everybody got a type, but for me, just be somebody of substance. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
You have your own. You know, you're,
exactly.
you're not dependent. You know what I'm saying? And we can just have.
also, you don't like a damsel in distress.
Say what now?
You
He
don't like
trying to be Captain Save 'em.
I can't even nobody. I'm listening to J. Cole. He said, "Don't save her. She don't want to be safe."
I guess it must be these older men nowadays that want some damsel in distresses with no
No,
money.
they don't, because they all on a fixed income. They can't do nothing. They all on a fixed income, you know.
All
And
right, y'all. So I'm gonna have to cut this short, y'all. This has been a great topic.
It has. I want to thank you, Moy, for coming on short notice. I'd like to give a shout out to my homeboy, Harris D. Brown, for coming through. He was able to find so we can have a male perspective. So I got to give a shout out to my homeboy, my college buddy. And I really want to thank you for coming on such short notice. Appreciate that.
Oh yeah, much respect, much respect. Yeah, no doubt.
Hashtag PVAMU. Thank you, Miss Phyllis. You're always welcome.
you're welcome, sweetheart.
Nice to meet y'all.
Wisdom,
Nice
y'all.
to
We're gonna
meet
have
you
to
too.
continue this. We're gonna have to have another discussion because what have you learned? What have you learned? What have you learned from your relationship dealing with an insecure person?
Oh me?
Yeah, both of y'all. Before we go, what's one thing you've learned?
Um.
Mm.
Oh well. What have I learned? Um. Just I guess I would say I've learned just to accept people as they are, but understand who they are.
Accept them for who they are, and you can hope for the best and pray for the best and hope for the best, expect the worst, because it's rough. It's an uphill battle, and sometimes you can't do enough. You can't do enough to make them feel better about themselves. That's work they have to do.
What do you think, Crystal? What have you learned?
What have I learned?
Mm-hmm.
Patience. But the main thing I learned is learn how to cut people loose. Well, maybe I ain't really learned that because I'm very good at that. I'll cut you loose real quick. But patience, because you do have to have patience dealing with people.
Hmm.
When it comes to certain avenues, just
Yeah, I'm very patient, but after a while, it runs out. I'm like, I can't do this no more.
Just
I say take care of yourself. Have
Yes.
time for yourself.
oh,
Find things
definitely.
that you're interested in. Have a hobby. Don't just be so focused on what that other person is doing,
Hmm.
and that will allow you to, not be so worried about, be so insecure all the time. When
Mm,
you're busy, when you're
right. When you have a life of your own and
yeah,
that you can concentrate on, you won't be worried about what they not doing
right.
all the time.
And communication is the key. If you're not that type of person that communicates, people cannot make people mind. They
Yeah,
just
and
do.
yeah, because if you communicate to a person what's wrong, they can't fix what they don't know is broken.
Right. So communication is very important.
And respect.
And like this brother, I would say brother said, love yourself enough to recognize the truth.
Amen. I like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's facts.
And real quick, a shout out to my little cousin and his girlfriend. They go to Prairie View, so I have to, always, always be Prairie View Union University founded in 1876. Cannot end without that. So,
All right. Nicely. Always a blessing to see you, Miss Phyllis. Nice meeting
You
you,
too,
boy.
love. See you at
Again.
Range Day. Are we going to the range Saturday?
I work.
Sunday?
Do
Oh,
you shoot? Do you shoot the boy?
Never have, to be honest.
what?
Nope. I'm scared of guns, man. Really. I mean, I've never
What?
been to the range. Now, I would like to go, but it's not like I'm fear, but I just don't.
I'm gonna hit you up after this call.
Yeah,
We'll
we
get you.
got to get him on in here. We got to
Yeah,
get
we'll
him
get
on
you.
out here. If you're gonna hang out with an older woman, honey, you gonna have to come to the range. I like going to the range.
Pressure.
Now, look, now we get through at the range. I'll fix you a plate of greens.
Hey, I even heard this thing. Only salmon, only fish.
Only fish.
Yeah, only fish.
Okay, I'll have fish. I like seafood, fish. Yeah,
All right, y'all. Till
yeah,
next
we
time.
got to get you to the range though.
All
It's
right.
Sweetie. Sweetie. See
Let
now.
me know. All right.
Talk
Nice
to
to
you
meet you.
later. Y'all
Or
have a good
later.